Okay, now what we're going to look at is dividing integers. And the same rules apply for dividing integers as does those for multiplying integers. So if you watched a previous video on 2-4, which was multiplying integers, you're kind of ahead of the game a little bit. So yeah, at least you know the rules. But I'm going to review the rules a little bit here. Okay, in this case here, you have an odd number of negatives in division. Okay, it's going to be a negative answer. Same thing here, even is going to give you a positive answer. Okay, so dividing integers, you might want to look at it this way or think of it this way. Some students prefer this over the even-odd approach. A negative divided by a positive or a positive divided by a negative is a negative answer. And a negative divided by a negative is a positive answer. So those are really the only two rules that students have to remember. You know, they already know if they have two positive numbers and they're dividing, that's going to be obviously a positive answer. So, all right, let's take a look at a couple now. All right, let's take a look at these four problems. These are four different ways that you'll see these problems set up. The nice thing with division is students will probably not have as many numbers to divide as they did maybe when they did a multiplication problem. So, but the same rules apply. Here we got a negative divided by a positive. Okay, so our answer is going to be negative. You know, now I like to put it in right away before I even do the division so that I have it in correctly and I'm done with that part of it. Okay, 33 divided by 11 is 3, so my answer is negative 3. Okay, here, 28 divided by negative 14, once again, a positive divided by a negative. My answer is going to be negative. Get the negative sign in so you don't forget. 28 divided by 14 is 2, so my answer is negative 2. Okay, here, now we have a negative divided by a negative, so my answer is positive. So I don't have to put a negative sign here. I really don't have to put a positive sign either. I'm going to leave it just the way it is. 36 divided by 2, okay, in this case is 18, and there's my answer, done. Okay, this is another way that you'll see division problems. As we get into higher level math, like the students are getting into now, division is quite often shown with a fraction bar. This is 150 divided by 10. And if they were setting this problem up as a long division problem, say it was a tough problem and they had to actually carry out long division, the top number or the first number you read goes inside the box if they set it up as a long division problem. So we got a negative divided by a positive, so my answer is going to be negative. So I'm going to get that negative sign written down. Okay, and then do the division. 150 divided by 10, okay, is 15. So my answer, negative 15. Okay, let's take a look at a much more difficult one. Okay, this kind of brings it all together. We have some multiplication and division of integers. So certainly a challenging problem. Very important that students write this one out and carry out the steps correctly. So I'm going to first of all clarify what this all means. This is negative 2 times s times t divided by negative 3 times t. Now in the directions, they will give you what the variables are. In this case, s is 18, t is negative 14. So I'm going to go ahead and fill those all in. So I got negative 2 times s, which is 18, okay, times t, which is negative 14, divided by, in this case, negative 3 times t, and t is negative 14. Now, something that's important here are parentheses that are around both of these. Okay, that means that that operation has to be performed before the division is done here. Okay, so that makes this problem that much more difficult. Okay, so I'm going to put a large set of parentheses around this whole works here. I put this set of parentheses to show that this is multiplication, but I also have to remember this has to be performed before the division. Okay, now getting back to doing the problem. All right, I kind of analyze the thing. Look at what I got here. Well, I really should do what's in parentheses first. That's order of operations. So negative 3 times negative 14, we got a negative times a negative, that's going to be a positive answer, that's 42. Okay, so that I did first. Wrote my division down. I could go back over here now. Order doesn't matter in this multiplication. Okay, so I can multiply this in any order I want. Key here, I got two negatives. Okay, so my answer is going to be positive. When I multiply these three integers together, it's a positive answer. And when I do that, it comes out to positive 504. Okay, and then my last step, I have a positive divided by a positive, obviously a positive answer. Okay, and this thing comes out to positive 12. Now, one thing I tell students, generally when you're doing problems like this that are this difficult, you are going to get an answer that's going to be an integer. Okay, either, integers are 0, 1, 2, 3, and so on, and they're opposites, so all the negative numbers. You're probably not going to get a number that's going to have a decimal or a fractional amount. So if the students went out of order here, and they didn't quite set things up right, or they made a multiplication or division mistake in doing a problem, good chance it's not going to come out to an integer. If that's the case, then they got to go back through, find their mistake, they're probably doing something wrong. So I feel pretty good about this answer. It came out to an integer, came out to 12, so a good chance I was setting it up right, because any little mistake is going to cause it to probably come out to a fractional amount. Okay.